Hello, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. And if you're joining us for the first time, where have you been? There are lots of materials already on this channel on fully funded scholarships from around the world. So make sure you subscribed so you're not left out. Today, we'll be looking at the Ireland Fellows Program. It's a fully funded scholarship in Ireland, which covers your tuition cost, your funding, flights, visas, every other thing that you need to cover as a student to study in Ireland. And as a matter of fact, someone on this channel won this scholarship this year's intake. Actually, two people on this channel won this scholarship. So this is one of the letters I posted on my Twitter page of one of the awardees. And he generously shared some of his applications with us. So some of his essays are here, so we'll be sharing some of his essay tips with us as well, without sharing too much of his personal information. So he has generously shared some of his tips with us, and yes, we'll be using that in the video today. So I'll be talking you through the application process and giving you tips, of course, on how to apply. And of course, we'll be looking at this document, which won the award last in the last intake, and use this as a source of motivation to inspire your own work. Of course, if you copy it, you get disqualified automatically. So this is just to guide you on how to come up with your own original writing to win the scholarship. So let's begin without any further delay. The Ireland Fellows Program is open for people from different countries, and whether you're from Africa, Asia, Latin America. And this is the main page. And if you're interested in this scholarship, just go to this tab here for applicants. So when you get to this tab, you see the different categories of scholarships according to your nationality or according to your continent. For instance, this is for those from the African continent. We have this for those from the Asian continent. You can scroll down a little to see other countries. This is for country-specific scholarships. Like if you're from Nigeria, you can apply for the Casement Fellowship in Human Rights. As a matter of fact, this is the scholarship one of the scholars got from our channel. You can see the application, or rather the offer letter, is the Casement Fellowship, fully funded, by the way. And that was the one he got in the last intake, and he will be resuming this September. Yes, I think so. So there are country specific ones as well. And if you scroll down, you see other countries. You can see here, this is for Latin America. Scroll down a little bit more. I think this is for some other countries as well, you can see. So check for, I think this is mostly the Caribbeans, if I'm not mistaken, or the Pacific Islands as well. You can see Fiji, I can see Dominica, Cuba, and the rest of them. So check where your country falls, and hopefully your country is among the eligible countries for this scholarship. So by way of example, we'll be using this African case, this scholarship for Africa, as demonstration. Fortunately, almost all of them have the same application procedures or requirements. So the fact that I'm using Africa here doesn't mean you have nothing to learn if you're from some other continent. The procedure is almost the same. And you can see the area of interest here. You can see agriculture, health, education, human rights, computer science, engineering, business, and more. So there's a directory here. Let's open the tab. You can see the directory of the different courses funded by this scholarship. It's a very long list. You can see here, a very long list for different subfields. So I know you might be getting dizzy already because it's quite lengthy, but I'm sure that one of these courses here will catch your interest. As a matter of fact, you're meant to select three courses usually from three different universities, three related courses from three different universities, and you grade them according to the one you like most. So different courses here: engineering, agriculture, public health, climate change, and so on and so forth. Of course, human rights as well. So let's begin. So we click on the tab here, and then to check for the application procedure. So you can see here there's a basic information about the rationale behind the scholarship. And I think you should read that to just get a feel of what the scholarship is all about and the kind of students or the kind of applicants they're looking for. I think it's important to read the summary. So do that on your free time. But for the sake of time, we'll just rush through to the application procedure. You can see the list of eligible countries here, and I hope your country is there. And we've already checked the list of eligible courses. It's quite lengthy. You can do that on your own and check for the eligible courses. Long list here. Different universities, different courses. And then the scholarship opens on the 3rd of July. 3rd of July. Well, I'm shooting this video very early in the morning on the 3rd of July. So it's probably open or about to open in a few hours. So yes, I'm shooting this midnight, 3rd of July. So by the time it gets to you, I'm sure the scholarship is already open. And these are the eligible countries, especially from the African continent. Remember, we chose the scholarship for Africans. Of course, there are other categories, just in case you missed that. So if you're not in this category, check for the other categories of scholarships here. And in case your country might just be on the list. Or you're just using Africa as the example. So these are the eligible African countries. I know it's not exhaustive, but this is what we have. This is what they give us. So apart from this fellowship, there are also sub-fellowships. These are fellowships that are for specific countries. For instance, if you're from Burundi, you also qualified for this Courtney Fellowship. If you're from Nigeria, this Roger Casement. I've talked about this already. This is the one that Awadi got, the Awadi from this channel got for this year's intake. If you're from Namibia, you can apply for these other ones. So I think if you're from these countries, you can both apply for this one. That's the main African Fellows Program. And then for these, any of these ones. For the casement in particular, this casement fellowship is for human rights courses, courses in human rights, law, justice, and things like that. This is the guy who applied, who got the scholarship. And you can see the courses he put in there. LLM in peace, human rights, something about MSc human rights. There's also this one on human rights and social policy. So for the casement scholarship, it's particularly for human rights. But if you're applying for something else, also check for the eligible programs. So let's move forward. And to apply for the scholarship, you have to possess 2 to 3 years of work experience. So you need to have work experience to apply for the scholarship. Then a good result as well, a 3/4, that's a 2-1 at least. Second class honors. Yes, that is what is written here. I think usually a 2-1. But for a 2-2, well, you might want to give it a go, but I think a 2-1 is often the baseline, often, but you can always give it a go if you have a 2-2 and see what happens. You might just be lucky. Then you haven't taken a master's before. There are some other instructions here they need you to fulfill. And yeah, you can read the rest on your own, of course. Then there's another bit of information I would like to share with you. For some countries, you can see the list of countries here. For these countries, you can apply only by invitation. What does it mean? You have to be a staff of the government department or of an NGO in partnership with Irish Aid, and personal organizations that align with the Irish Aid's objective developmental strategy. So it means you either, if you're from any of these countries listed here, you can see Congo, Djibouti, Eswatini, Eritrea, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, Uganda, and Zambia. If you're from this country, you have to only apply by invitation. So you have to be like a civil servant or working for an NGO in partnership with Irish Aid or in a personal organization that aligns with the Irish developmental objectives. So in case you're not a civil servant, you can also use this last sentence as a leverage. Show that whatever you're doing aligns with the Irish Aid developmental strategy. So what you could do if you're not sure is to send them an email and say, hey, this is where I work, this is what I do. And I think it aligns with the objective of Irish Aid, because Irish Aid is about the sustainable development goals and how to address them internationally. So you show how whatever you're doing aligns with the sustainable development goals. So you can always send them an email, and here they just kept the list of embassies and their contacts. So this is the list, and just click on your country and it generates the email automatically. So in case you're from Malawi, click on Malawi, and then the email will come up So this is the contact person, the Malawian embassy in or the Irish embassy in Malawi. This is the contact person. So you ask him or her that this is my situation. Do I qualify? If they say yes, that's the invitation you're looking for, and then you can apply. And for some other countries, you do not need invitation to apply. If your country is not on this list, please feel free to apply without an invitation. So if your country is on the main list, this is the main list here, but not on this list, you can apply without invitation. So what are the documents you need to put together? Um, so just click here that you qualify for the scholarship. Then it will show you the different documents containing the directory on how to apply. Yes. So now you've clicked on this box here that we're eligible. So now you check for the different the directory and the information on how to apply. This is a directory here and the different courses as well. I think we've seen some of this one already. Let's go back to the main page. So we'll click here on the African program particularly. So it gives you the basic information on how to apply. I will go through them together, of course. So just to re-emphasize what the scholarship covers, it covers your settling allowance. So when you get into Ireland, it gets you covered. It covers your departure allowance, completion and departure allowance. So if you're living as well, you get some money as well. It covers your living stipend while you're studying, 700 euros. Also helps you with accommodation. And what is not written here, or what is not written on this page that you see subsequently, that it also helps you with your English language test. So in case if you're invited for the second stage, I'll be showing you the second stage soon. So if you pass the second stage, you're sent. If you pass the first stage, you're sent to a second stage. And the second stage, if you do not have money, you'll be assisted in writing the English language test. You'll see that soon. So let's move forward. So these are what it covers. Very interesting, very generous. So let's go. We've seen these bits of information already. The different kinds of the countries eligible for the scholarship and the different kinds of sub fellowships that you can apply for. So let's go. The eligibility criteria as well. We've seen that the stages. So this is important. For the first stage, it's between the 3rd of July to the 30th of July. So you have to apply between this period. There's an application form we'll be looking at together. So we're looking at this application form together very soon. So okay, it's coming up already. Yes, we're looking at this together. Let's go back to the main page. Then you're not required to submit an English language test in the first stage. It is when you're shortlisted for the second stage, then you'll be asked to submit the English language requirements. And if you do not have it, you'll be assisted to do that. So let's move forward. The second stage is between the 25th September to 20th October. You need to pass the first stage before you're invited to the second stage. If you do not pass the first stage, you cannot make the second stage. And the third stage is interviews and some documents as well. So now we're in the first stage. This period is now the first stage period. So let's emphasize on this. How do you scale through this first stage period? So these are the documents you need to put in place. Well, the application form, we'll be looking at that shortly, and the essay you might need to write. And then a means of identification, that's your passport. Do you have a voter's card, international passport, voter's ID, and any other form of official identification? Then your undergrad certificate, and then the transcript from your undergrad degree. So what do you do with these documents? You send them in either Word format or PDF format to the email address provided below, and make sure you name them properly. That's your name, and then you now say dash passport, like my name, Victor Agboga passport, Victor Agboga undergraduate degree certificate, Victor Agboga dash academic transcript. So label them correctly with your name and then the document type. Then send them to these email address depending on your country. So I'm Nigerian, for instance, so I'm sending to this person to this person. So check for your own country. So these are like the basic information they'll be asking for both in the first and second stage. So this is what I was saying in the first instance, that you'll be needing the IELTS exam in the second stage. However, if you do not have the exams, you'll be assisted in writing the exam. I think it's written somewhere here. Let me fish out the information. You can apply through stage one and two of this process without having completed the IELTS test. Good. However, you must have you must have noted the IELTS scores. You must have noted the IELTS scores required for your selected programs and considered whether you can achieve this grade. I'm looking for where it's particularly said about a voucher, that you receive a voucher for this exam. So let me quickly look at it to make sure I'm not giving you fake news. Okay. Yes, this is where it was said that they will help you with your IELTS test. It says here that eligible shortlisted applicants who do not yet have the English language test, the English language certification required for their master's program in Ireland will be provided with a coupon in order to take the Duolingo test. So they will help you take the Duolingo test if you do not have English language qualification already. So that's good. It means you wouldn't have to spend money taking the test on your own. They would actually help you. That's when you get to stage two. You do not need any English language proficiency in the stage one. So we're studying stage one, by the way. I want to take you through the documents you need to provide in stage one, especially the application form itself. You'll be needing an application form as we saw earlier. And I've opened the application form already. The basic bits here are just things about yourself, where you studied, work experience, do you have the English test already or not? Remember, in the first stage, it is not needed. And now here you have to give three courses according to the order of preference. So number one will be your most favorite. Then number two, the next course you prefer, and then the third course. You have to give their full title and then the course code. You get the course code, of course, from the directory we saw earlier. Remember, we saw in directory earlier, the list of courses there, that's where you get your course code from. And then there are a number of essays you need to also write, very short ones, 150 words, 150 words, 150 words. As a matter of fact, our friend who got the scholarship also had to go through the same process. So he wrote the courses here that he's interested in. And then you can also see here it was even 100, and it was just 80 rather, not 100, just 80 words that was required last year. I think this year they require 150. But the questions are still the same. I believe the questions are still look alike. So question one here says something about how would the specific program of study in Ireland, which you have chosen, assist you in your career aspirations? So let's see what they asked last year. So it's the same thing. Let's go to B. How would this program of study in Ireland help you work towards achieving your country's national SDG goals? I think it's similar, exactly. So question C, how would you propose to contribute to links between your country and Ireland? It's also the same here. So I'll leave a copy of this, just this page, a screenshot of this. I would crop out his personal details so you can use this to inspire your own writing. So I'll just give you quick tips as well on how to do that. And the first question is about your chosen course and how it will help your career. Of course, you mentioned, remember you have three courses, you have to mention the three of them and what you intend to learn from them. So he did a very good job here. If you look at his work, with very good paragraphing as well. So each paragraph for each question. So he talked about each course and the skills he intends to learn from those courses and how they will help him in his home country. For instance, I intend to go back home to work as the Minister of Justice, and I believe a master's degree in law from a respected from an esteemed Irish university will put me in front of the line furnish me with the required skills I need to be a prospective or a shining applicant for that kind of position. So something like that. So the course you're applying for, the skills you would learn, and how that would help you further your career in your home country. So I give the example of you want to study a master's in law because you're interested in going back home to work in the Ministry of Justice, so it can help to accelerate the speedy delivery of justice to marginalized communities in your area. So something like that. Then the other one is about the SDG. So remember, there are about, I think there are 17 of them. So choose about at least one or two that align with your area of interest and show the issues in your country that relate to these SDGs and show how you intend to work there. For instance, equality or zero hunger or what they call it. There's something about justice and peace as well. I think that's SDG, either 16 or 17, justice and peace. So see issues with justice and peace in your country, and mention the name, the particular name of the SDG you're interested in, and how your work is related to that SDG, and the problem you intend to solve in your country through that SDG, of course. Then links to Ireland. Okay, now imagine you've acquired the degree, you're working in your home country. How do you intend to link back to Ireland? You could say you would join the alumni community, the Irish alumni community in your country. You can say you look forward to working with projects. I think he mentioned here the Ireland Alumni Network in Nigeria. So very smart. Can say you look for joint projects, joint collaboration with the Irish embassy in your country, and things like that. So this essay will just help you put your thoughts together as well. There's also another video on my channel on this same scholarship, also explaining the essays. I think I'll put that there as well. We've already talked quite a number of, too much, and a number of points already. So these are the things you're expected to do. Of course, put your name and address and sign, and then send to the email address provided already. So this is for the African fellowship. Of course, there are other fellowships as well, and I think they follow the same or similar processes. So just check for your own country and what applies to your own country as well. So finally, there's a second stage. So we're not going to be talking about that much here because this is still in the first stage. So if you scale through the first stage, you can always come back, send me an email. I will talk you through the second stage. It's a little bit more complicated, a little bit of more essays that you need to write. I don't want to reveal its personal details here, but these are like some of the issues you might want to start thinking about for the second stage. And you're not there yet, but if you get there, send us an email and contact me on either Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever. I'll be there to answer you as well. And we'll talk you through how to actually answer some of these questions. Because the second stage is a little bit more intense, more competitive, and of course, we're here to help. It is not impossible, as I said. Someone already got the scholarship from this channel, and it might just be you next time. Might just be you next time. So I hope this was useful, guys. It's a fully funded master's in Ireland from different countries, different categories as well. And fingers crossed, you will get this by this time. Next year, we'll also be celebrating you. So bye-bye for now. And as usual, we cannot wait to celebrate you. Get to work, start putting your documents together. And I wish you all the best. Cheers.